All right, what is going on, ladies and gentlemen, and circle friends, as Greg Doucette would say? We are doing a Hulk VOD review today of our boy Snar FL. I believe that's how you pronounce it. I'm not sure. So don't kill me, chat. Don't kill me. One thing I want to talk about real quick before we get into the gameplay is I want you to kind of like, not only now, but just for games in general, just look at your team comp, right? Hulk, right, has mobility. As you get the as you can see, as you're majestically flying through the air, right? So with that being said, you can play a little bit faster, but can your team? No. Slow, 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 and then like Rocket can be kind of fast, right? So what I want you to keep in mind is your team is very slow. So if you play at too fast of a tempo, they will not be able to follow up, and they won't be able to play off of you properly, and that can cause you getting punished, or that can cause them getting punished because they don't have their tank that is phenomenal at peeling. So if I were you, the way I would go about this game initially is I would stay with my team. I'm not opposed to you going up and getting information at first, but I would stay close to my team, make sure I'm looking around, make sure I know where they're at. And I would play around them so that I can peel for them just in case the enemy team has dive. But once I figure out what they have, I can adjust my play style to that. Keep in mind with your abilities, right? Your clap. Clap is just range damage, can be burst in some scenarios. Your bubble, it's a bubble that you can use on yourself or teammates that are nearby, as well as it builds ult charge when it absorbs damage. So it's very good for peeling for teammates, for playing around teammates because it increases your ult charge, which allows you to go freak nasty, big tank mode, and do the funny, do the crazy things, right? So you want to build your ult fast. So bubbling your teammates is definitely a big plus. And then your exile, I don't know what it's called. I think that's what it's called, but that ability is used for freezing important targets, whether you're trying to cancel an ult, whether you're diving two supports and you want to freeze one of them so you can actually kill the other one instead of being put in a scenario where you're kind of punching one and they're healing and then you're punching another one and they're healing, yada yada yada. You don't want to be in that situation, right? But when it comes to your ultimate is a very selfish ultimate. There is no comboing with that for the most part. I'm not sure if you can knock people out of Grudo, but we're not even going to talk about that. It's a second life. You want to kind of build it up, use it so when you go in, you have an extra life so that you can pop it and you keep doing Hulk things, right? Without further ado, let's get into the VOD. Playing fast here, right? Getting the information, right? One thing we want to talk about real quick is the map, right? So your team has some poke potential, but nothing too crazy. It's really mostly the Hawkeye. So I still would recommend fighting for this left side. I think if anything, your Hawkeye can maybe like lurk mid. Everybody else can go fight for this area here. Yada yada. Understand there's a lane here. Technically this is a lane, and then this is a lane with a little flank route on the side. So if I'm you, I'm not too worried about this. But when I'm coming up here, my main focus, if I'm you, is checking this and then looking out here. If I see nothing, they're probably flanking, right? So yeah, but I wouldn't extend any farther than this for the sole fact of look how far you are from your team. Your main objective right now is scouting. I'm going up, I'm getting information, and then I'm playing off my team appropriately based off of the information I have gained. You can hear the Iron Man floating around, right? Pops his ability, bam, we jump on the Iron Man, boom. As you can see from his very big hands, he has popped his amp ability. So, well, what should you do? I would go for an exile, right? I'd go for an exile because I think if you can get him out of the air, you can put him in a position to where you can eliminate him pretty easily, especially since he's on his own. But if you don't hit that, maybe you could try to knock him out of the air. And if you can't, I would say back out and use your bubble to get out if you really need to. But I wouldn't take a fight with an amped Iron Man if I'm not hitting my abilities because that guy is going to roast you. Here we are. Pop bubble. Yeah, so we're missing a lot. So I'm definitely not opposed to leave. But honestly, I still would have invested I would have invested this because I think if you hit that, I think you win that fight. I really do. So if you're gonna use everything else, I would have definitely used that. But in my opinion, if I'm you, I'm definitely using this as an engagement because I think that automatically, if you hit that, you automatically win that fight. If you don't, then you don't knock him out of the air with a jump. I think you understand that's probably not a fight you're gonna win because you're a melee character, and you need to get out. But here we are. It's unfortunate that you get bannered, right? But also, I think you need to keep in mind of your teammates' positioning, right? Like they can't see you, you know. And I understand that you didn't want to like get, you know, thinged here, but you drop down and you're getting low, like you know, you need to also like keep your head on a swivel, so you have a better idea of where your teammates at, so that they can better sustain you. Careful being on this objective so long. Strange has a Hulk amp, and he is probably at 80% of that charge. And if we want to check, definitely is really close. He could technically explode you right now, and you would disappear. So be careful. Back up. Oh, you heard the support behind you. But that should also mean that this support is very vulnerable and on their own. Bang. Good frag. But we did hear the Luna Snow left side, so I would kind of keep my eyes open, look around and see if there's anything we can see. Because right now, you could have seen her. And instead of exiling this and allowing this to be a complete waste, you could have exiled the Luna that was top left and allowed your team to get on top of her, right? Because look at the difference, right? Look at the difference here. Imagine you exile this and you jump up here, Squirrel Girl jumps up here, you punch her, Squirrel Girl, you know, throw some acorns at her, throw some nuts, right? Hit her with the nut combo. She's dead, right? But this doesn't die. Let's be real. He's not dying. Luckily, the Luna still gets eliminated. But yeah. Don't exile things for no reason. Have a reason for exiles. You don't want to be freezing things that can get eliminated and then they end up not being eliminated. Why are we bubbling at 100% health? Don't answer. Don't answer. Because whatever you were going to say is not going to make any sense. They're on triple support now. So, especially because they're on triple support, it's going to be really hard for you to do anything. But you pressuring them and making them like spread their focus is kind of nice right now. So, not totally against your aggressive play right now, but keep in mind it's going to be really hard to get frags into supports who are going to literally sit on top of each other. Good job pressuring this Iron Man. You're forcing him into a weird spot. He should get eliminated. Probably should have died a little sooner, but a win's a win. We're at 72%. Boom. Target focus 1-on-1. Who should you pressure? Should I fight the Strange? Oh, here we'll do it this way. Who should we fight? Yo, chat. Let's make this interactive. Comment down below. Who should we attack here? I'll give you a few seconds. We shouldn't. I'll break it down to not Strange. Why? He has a DPS and 2 supports supporting him. Not Hella. Why? She has a tank and 2 supports enabling her. Right? I would go after one of the supports. I would go after the Luna, specifically because Luna is kind of behind a wall, and if we pressure Luna, for one, she shouldn't get healed here, and I could very much see her taking this little route here where she won't be getting healed, and she probably won't be able to activate her sprint fast enough, and if you have your exile, you can exile her to kind of cancel that out. But I would, if anything, I'm boxing out the Luna here. I'm not going to box out the Strange. No need. You're just going to get pocketed and live anyways. Wanted to make it a little interactive. That was kind of a nitpicky thing to talk about, but we got 88%. I'm not really a big fan of this fight for you here. You really need to live. Oof, that could have been bad. But he whiffs. We're going back in. Interesting. We're on the supports now. Okay, boom. Nothing is going to die unless they get separated from their team. But I don't think you need to use ult here. When we look up at our teammates, right? Basically, nobody has ult except you. and your Hawkeye. Now, you could use ult here and knock them away, away from the Luna ult as well, away from the fight. But what does that do if they're able to sustain each other? I think you definitely do have the damage to get the picks there, and if you feel confident that you can get a pick out of those two, I mean, you can go for it, especially if you can knock them into these walls here. But I think as you're transforming, they probably create distance between you and them, and yeah, you're probably not able to get these picks here. So I personally probably wouldn't use the ult. I would let if anything, the Hawkeye, which he's popping it, to try to see if he can get a pick, and I would just survive, and I would just survey what's going on, try to find the next best thing to do. Be pressuring up the supports here, right? Yeah, Hawkeye gets a pick. Look at the objective. Please don't let them take it for free. You're at 99%. Why? What are we doing, brother? Just contest. Just contest. Come on, man. Why are we letting them flip the objective? Like, yes, we're down teammates, right? But our Hawkeye's still alive. We have a support that's still alive. Our Groot's still alive. So if you don't let them flip, right? You force them to have to kind of play this objective and contest. Why? Because if they don't, the game's gonna end, right? But it also allows your your teammates to kind of like to fight for this because I think it's an even fight. They're down to support. Somebody's on the way. You're down to support, but your teammates aren't too far away. I think this is a winnable fight for you. I don't think you need to let them flip it, and I think you could, if anything, you might even be able to. If they're going to commit a support ult, you might be able to commit your ult and knock them out of the thing and allow your teams to get a frag. Not necessarily have to do that. You could probably just survive and let your group walk in, and then once the group walks in, you can do other stuff too. But I think this is definitely a fight you can win. You shouldn't be letting them flip for free because now, every second that we're fighting, if we don't win this fight or we don't make something happen, we are letting them win because they're building meter. Yeah, let's look at your ult here, man. You are in their back line. You do have teammates that are back. And if they communicated that, this could be worth. Just keep in mind of how much damage you're taking, things like that. But this could be fine here. Oof, big ult by Strange though. You get two supports there. Honestly, with cooldowns, they probably should have lived, but hey, man, you got two picks, and I don't know if you lost anybody. Wow, big ult by Strange. Yeah, not much you could do there, man. Not much you could do there. But the fact that you're still fighting here while they're getting percentage is not very great. But this fight would have been a lot better if you would have never let them flip, because now at least y'all would have got eliminated, right? And they would have just been at like 5% instead of 21. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I would say the difference would be here. Good thing you didn't get shrunken. You hear that invis cooldown? That invis cooldown does not last very long. She'll probably be out of it in a second. I would chill. I would chill and make sure that I can peel for my team. She's already out of it. Just due to the fact that you're probably the best peeler on the team, and you can actually probably have a pretty decent time dealing with this Psylocke, especially with your bubbles and abilities. As long as she doesn't run away and keep distance, which she might do, but right now we're not really doing anything. Not a fan of what we're doing right now. And now we're engaging onto the objective. We wasted our exile, which seems to be a common trend. They are cloak and dagger ulting. What does that mean? Nothing's going to die, so we need to keep our head on a swivel. Well, we know that Luna wasted an ult. We are walking out for God knows what reason. And look at you. Holy moly. What is up with this arch, man? Gosh. But let's keep it a buck. Okay, let's keep it a buck 150. Where are you going, brother? And you'll be jumping back in, but you were already in there. You could have been building ult. You could have been doing things, right? Like, why are we backing out? That's to jump back in. And so knowing that things couldn't be eliminated for the time being, that are on point, you could have jumped up and you could have contested that Hela that's been playing top left this whole time. Don't chase this because she's invis. She's just going to lead you on, if anything. she'll show herself. Yep, I'm cool with this. Not anymore, because you're feeding the Molt charge, because you're not going to eliminate him. Give him an exile? Cool. That was more so a play that you were body blocking, so that's fine. Ignore what I said. Adjustments for round 2. What would I say? I don't really know if I noticed anything too crazy round 1. I think you played it actually pretty well round 1. If I had to make any comments, I definitely would say just keep your head more in a swivel. Not only be more aware of the enemy, but be more aware of your team. Make sure that we're playing around them properly and we're enabling them by creating space in areas they want to be in, or areas they want to, they should be in, things like that. All right, as we're coming out here, I'm a big proponent of fighting for the high ground, so breaking this wall and fighting for height is definitely big value to me. Don't quite make it, but the enemy team does seem like they're very interested in doing it. Keep in mind that you are a lot faster than your team, and by pushing up very quickly, you are separating yourself from them, which will not allow you to bubble and do other things for them. And yeah, if they were in comms, I would have tried to talk them into playing high ground. But if they wouldn't listen, I would just play around them. Especially with Psylocke online, the last thing you want to do is not be anywhere near them and then not be able to bubble them. Because I think with a bubble and some heals, man, everybody should live. Here comes said Psylocke. You're in the ult. You hesitate on the bubble. Bubble comes out a little late. Your teammates aren't close enough to you. This is not inherently your fault, but you probably could have been a little closer to them a little bit earlier on. Maybe got a bubble on them. But yeah, it's okay. Not your fault, but you could have made a better play. Long cooldown. Okay. Not against this. You force out a cooldown. One thing I would say is try to be a little bit more wary of where you're ending your ults because, that is a stage of vulnerability. But not a bad ult. You force out a cooldown, and let's just say you force out the... Oh, man. Am I ever not tired? You forced out some important cooldowns as well. I think you might have forced out that ult. So I think that ended up being a pretty value ultimate. Like that we're being aggressive here. I definitely want to. I would want to finish this fight. Psylocke wants to finish the fight a little bit more than I think y'all needed to. All right. So, a point of advice that I would give you would be to when you play games like this in the sense of the mode, there will be times where people might switch. With that being said, just hold tab to see if anybody swaps. Because, especially since they only have one tank currently, they could swap and then go strange, which they are. They can do a little portal play. The last thing you want is fighting enemies from two sides. So a thing you could do, if there's an opportunity they might do that, is, and why not just do it anyways? You could jump up. Where is it, man? We'll get up here somewhere. I don't know where it's connected to. Okay, right here. Wait, what? Why was my brain not working? Hello? Oh, it's this wall. Oh, I'm just tripping. I'm sorry. But basically, you jump up here. You can break this wall right here, and you can see into their spawn, and you can stop this with an exile. I know it'll be a hard play to do, but after a fight wins, preemptively going up there and setting up a hole so you could do it, it could be a nice little idea. Is that like min-maxing? Maybe. But hey, it's a play that you can maybe make. And I mean, if you make a play like that in ranked, they're going to think you're cheating, bro. They're going to think you're insane. And it's a play that definitely can be made. Interesting bubble. like this little flank around. Bubbling for no reason, man. Target prio. Look at this. Look at this juicy pick. No one would have helped her either. But since you're too focused on the Luna, which you somehow still get. I don't know how you get that there. Let me be real. But hey, I'll go back in. Uh. Okay, hold in. So my issue with that ult is timing. I'm pretty sure you went in way before your team was even remotely close. You got a dude that's still in spawn. I like the thought behind the ult, but I don't like the timing. If you just wait a little bit longer, that ult is huge, right? But right now you force out an ult, and then you're gonna have to back out anyways. If you can even get out, which I don't think you will be able to, yeah. So just be a little bit more aware of your team. Because I don't think that was a bad play. I just think you executed it at the wrong time. Would have been really nice if you would have entered like that while your team's behind you, so you draw all the focus in there, everybody shooting you, and everybody shooting your team. And, yeah. Do the tank thingy. Stop exiling people. You don't need to exile. Now, if you would have popped runes, that is a good exile, because you're canceling a very strong ability that can not only burn you, but burn your team. Right? But you can use that exile for something more important, like freezing a support when you dive, or freezing a DPS so that you don't get burned, or yada yada yada. So I'm not a big fan of you just sitting there. I definitely want you to get some information, see where they're going, see if they swap to anything. And yeah, just be aware. Because right now, if we allow them to just walk in for free, they're going to just pop ults and win because they're going to have more ults than we do. Good exile, right? And what can make this play better is if you get in front of her, hit her with a nice little body block, and do this thing that's called shadowing. Basically, where you just kind of like shadow her movements to stop her from getting to her teammates faster. If you use logic or common sense, if she wanted to, she'll either probably go here or she'll go this way. But I would probably say she'd probably more so lean to this side. So you can make that assumption and just slightly you can hit her and slightly lean more this way. Then it kind of just match her, trying to prevent her from getting into this cloacle, because you can quite literally probably get a frag here, and if you can, that's fight changing. But yeah, I would say don't rush this. Once she's exiled, she's not healing anybody, which is a big detriment to their team. So yeah, take your time, man. Nice freeze, nice exile, but you probably could have got a little bit more out of it. Because you wake her up here, and then she just runs to her team, into the cloacle. Now nothing dies because they have a cloacle. Now you lost 2 teammates, so the fight is now officially over. So pack your bags and hit the road, Jack. Get out of here. Skedaddle. Saw the vision. I saw the vision. I like it. I don't like that, though. He's isolated. Push him, yep. Gonna force out his cooldown. Thor's coming to help him. Just leave. Good for it. So my issue with how this fight transpired is I definitely would have probably just contested the point a little bit more, just to deny them capturing it and kind of giving your team some time to get back, and then you could probably get out safely, things like that. But right now you're taking a fight on the objective when you guys are, I think technically at a worse disadvantage, right? So they're gonna just end up winning the fight anyways. We gotta be careful with that. You are solo tank right now too, which is a big oof. For some reason, I don't know why you're solo tank, but what I would do here is as I'm walking out, I would try to walk out while also giving my team a bubble probably. So you're probably gonna take a lot of damage coming out here. Seems like you do. Hey, pop Luna ult. Good because you're pulling out a lot. You pull out cooldowns and you pull out ultimates. But you live here? Very good. What it's feeling like as well too is like you guys have yet to like really hard reset. You're kind of just like fighting a continuous fight without numbers, which is never good. Nice knockdown. You know, he's probably looking for some kind of ult play. Yeah, I think you played this fight pretty well. Good peel, good harassment, good disruption. Oh, for Luna. Luna's by herself. Gotta open her eyes, brother. Ooh. Okay, you thought you were gonna fall off. You definitely gotta get healthy here. Ooh, jumping in while you're low. Scary. Ah, thank goodness we're in gold. This is risky because you probably have an idea that Thor's already over here, and I think we probably see him out of the corner of your eye, but I can understand in fast motion it probably isn't as obvious, so you probably didn't see him. But you definitely see him now. You have to be wary about what edges you put yourself near because he will and can throw you off. Hey man, don't tell you don't tell me I ain't tell you. So that's frustrating. Thankfully you weren't in your ult. That'd have been really frustrating. You definitely probably have to be first touch here. Get your touch, but I think it might be a little too early. Works out, works out. Yeah, that's just pretty unfortunate, man. I don't think you played horribly. I think there was little things that you could have did better, but we'll discuss that more in the notes. But yeah, see you in a bit. Alrighty, and these are going to be the notes for this VOD, right? Number one, your bubs or your bubbles are being used a little too selfishly, in my opinion. I feel like there's a lot of time where you're kind of just going in and bubbling yourself, and you're not playing in a manner where you're kind of surveying the battlefield to see like what abilities can you counter, how can you appeal for your teammates, enable your teammates with your bubbles, yada yada yada, right? And by you playing selfishly with your bubbles, you're not only slowing your ult charge, but like I said, you are also missing opportunities to help your teammates out. Number two, timing. I think your time is a bit off. I think there's a few times where you're kind of going in a little too fast. And like we stated in the beginning, your team comp was slow, so no one really had the capability of really following you in there the way you probably wanted them to. You can't really blame them for not being in the right positions at the right time because you're playing at a faster tempo than they can even play at, right? You got to make sure that whatever you're doing needs to be a reflection of your team, especially in a 6v6 game. Individualism kind of gets lowered very easily. And then number three, your target prio. Like we stated before, I think if you slow down a bit, just survey the fight a little bit better, right? Make better choices on what you want to engage on or disrupt. I think it'll help you out. A good example I would say would be when you're going in and you have your exile up, right? If you got two supports, you can exile whatever support will make that fight hard, and then fight the other one. Or if you feel like someone's gonna pop an ult, you can position yourself right and make sure that you're targeting them with your exile, or you're knocking them out of the air, or you're pressuring them, things like that. I think you were playing at like kind of like either an all in or like not really doing anything tempo, and you need to find like a more of a middle ground because Hulk's a brawly character. And if you're just constantly diving, 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 you're probably missing out on a lot. So I would just say take it a little bit slower. You are really proficient at that character. I actually like the way you played for a gold, and I'm assuming you're probably platinum player. You played really well, and in terms of just like comfortability on the character. But with that being said, hopefully everybody who watched not only enjoyed the VOD, but learned something along the way. If you or somebody you know wants to get coached, wants a VOD review, all you got to do is join my Discord. The link will be down below in the description. And then I have a channel available where you can submit some information so we can get you on the list and basically in queue for a VOD review. And with that being said, hopefully you guys and gals have a great morning, afternoon, night, wherever you may be. It's your boy, Coach Apxche, and I will see you in the next one. Take care.